All right, so the CrossFit Open has just been announced. Workout 14.1 for 2014. What is the workout? It's 30 double unders followed by 15 snatches with 55 pounds for female and 75 pounds for male. And I'm just doing this as a kind of video response to Brian McKenzie on Barbell Shrugs video. Talking about kind of what you need to do to warm up. He recommended a 35 to 45 minute warm up, which sounds sort of ridiculous, but it kind of makes sense. You want to be prepared to redline the shit out of this thing at the very end. He talked about how you should prep yourself to be able to basically find a good pace for the first 5 minutes, and then after that, around the 3 to 4 minutes left to go, you freaking just put your gas on the pedal and you push. But I'm making the video basically just go over mobility and kind of what I like as far as what he recommended, and those were improving internal rotation and ankle mobility because of talking about a snatch where it gets very expensive here at the top when you start to lose internal rotation because of fatigue. Internal rotation like this, right? You know, they look about even. Let's go see if we can improve this. Pulling back right here behind my back, as you can see. Then I get the band here, and then or the PVC pipe here. Pull back, pull down to stretch that or force kind of that biasing internal rotation. Contract by pulling in, release, contract, release, contract, release. Keeping your chest tall. Contract by pulling in. I'm using my right arm to pull into my low back. Release. And just hold there for about 30 to 45 seconds, maybe a minute. It's sort of uncomfortable to hold for 2 minutes, but I guess if you really need it. And you kind of see how there's a little bit more range of motion on this right side because I stretched it out. So that way, when I hold into the snatch position, or when I get to the end and get the real fatigue, I have a little bit more room there, and it reduces the metabolic costs or fatigue cost. My personal favorite when it comes to stretching is actually using the band. Let me show you how to do that. And one of the things to improve internal rotation here, this is again Mobility WOD's Supple Leopard technology. Get the band in here on a pull-up bar somewhere high. Get your arm here in the armpit. You kind of pull this shoulder blade back. You pull this shoulder blade, and you kind of pull this chest in a better position, pulling the humerus, the upper arm, into the socket better. Put the arm behind your back, like so, just as if I was doing the PVC pipe stretch I showed you earlier. Lean in. That way you can bias that internal rotation really well. Contract by pushing that right fist into your lower back. Release. Walk a little further. Contract. And release. And then just open up that chest. You kind of hunt and find different spots if you want, depending on what you're trying to look for. If you want, you can also take the band, hold it here, and kind of get even more bias. So you can bias internal rotation even a little bit more, like this. I think this is called the bully stretch. And that way, you can really improve this internal rotation. You can just see, even if I'm trying to push both down, this just has a little bit more internal rotation. That way you get better holding overhead snatch position. The second piece, or second part, is the ankle mobility. Again, this is great, and I'll show you very specifically. And what I like to do, this is one of my favorites, because what you're doing is you're distracting the ankle to kind of hold your tibia in place almost, or the talus of the foot, either one, I guess. Okay. I've kind of messed around with this, and I found that this is quite effective when trying to improve dorsiflexion. You know, you just kind of hold the band maybe on your shin, and then what you'll do is you'll just kind of slide back and forth as you're distracting the band. Step forward and just stretch. That's all you're doing. You're just pressing your foot down, and if you want to, you can actually do a kind of like a downward dog like this while it's distracting. And what this will do is just allow you to bias a little bit more ankle mobility. And another thing that I really like what he said also was about how expensive it can be as far as metabolic and energy costs if you allow yourself to use too much hamstring. So if you're here, so I remember, like he said, like if you use too much hamstring, like here, even though you'll be able to get the weight up quicker with a sort of a, you know, from the snatch, the problem you're going to have is it costs more metabolically because the hamstrings are bigger muscles. If you want to do a power snatch and really get it up there, which is pretty good, I thought that was kind of the method I'm looking at. Or the other way is the muscle snatch, where you're almost essentially doing a front raise with a little bit of a sort of a push press feel. The only problem with the muscle snatch is it's going to smoke your shoulders. No matter how you look at it, it's going to smoke you out anyway, and it's going to be freaking terrible. I would really look at Brian McKenzie's video. If you really want to get a good time, I'd watch that video a few times, because there's actually small little tidbits in there that you can really use in your training or in your preparation for 14.1. Good luck.